In this lesson, we're going to talk about daily practice routines. We've got a lot of requests and questions about what should your daily practice routine look like. And that's going to vary a little bit for each player depending on where you're at and what you're working on. But I can make a few suggestions of kind of what I do and what I think is good practice. So the first thing you always want to do is tune. A lot of people forget this. So we're going to tune up, and you might have to tune several times throughout your practice session. It's always good to keep checking your tuning. If you're not in tune, no matter what you play, it's not going to sound right. So make sure your tuning is good. So we're almost done with that. Okay, so all tuned up. Check it with a chord. So the first thing I like to do is get my fingers warmed up. So I like to use scales to warm up, and it increases my knowledge of the fretboard, finger dexterity, movement, all that stuff. And I like to go through pretty much every scale or mode that I know. And I like to do it using the circle of fifths, okay? And we're going to do a lesson on the circle of fifths, but right now all you need to know is you start on C and you go up a fifth each time until you get back to C, and then you'll have played the scale in every key. Okay, so let's just do a major scale to start. So I'm going to start on C right here, 8th fret. I'm going to play a major scale. And, you know, you don't have to play it fast. The important thing here is that you're playing it evenly. It even helps to practice with a metronome. If you're working on speed, then you can, you want to speed it up gradually each time. And while I'm playing on acoustic right now, this lesson's good for electric or acoustic. Okay, so we played it in C. Now we're going to move a fifth up from C is, if you play your major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's G, okay? So you can play, if you know a major scale, yet starting G there on the A string, you can do that, or you can just play G here, just like the same pattern you played on C. Whoops, sorry. Okay, then we're going to move up a fifth from there, which is D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, D. Okay, so D on the low E string is right here. Then a fifth up from there is A, so I'm going to A. The fifth up from there is E, so I'm going to go all the way up here to E. Fifth up from E is B, so B is right here. So what this exercise does too is it tests you on finding the notes as well, for those of you who are kind of in the beginner stages. All right, a fifth up from B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F sharp. So we do that right here. Fifth up from F sharp is C sharp. That's right here. Fifth up from there is A flat. Fifth up from there is E flat. Fifth up from there is B flat. Fifth up from there is F. So we're going to play F up here. And a fifth up from there is C. So we're back to C. Okay, so that's how you can do the scales. Then you've played every scale and every key. It's helped you practice finding notes and understanding fifths, which is an important relationship in music, 1 to 5. And then if you know more scales, I suggest do it with every scale that you know. Okay, you'd be nice and warmed up after that. So after I warm up with some scales, and maybe some other exercises too, if you are working on scale patterns in thirds, or if you're working on a particular mode and your familiarity of that mode, there's exercises on the modes. Maybe you do some of those. But then, once you're kind of warmed up, I like to work on whatever I'm currently working on. So for some of you who are beginners, it might be chords, or it might be you're working on bends. If you're playing electric, articulations, hammer-ons, pull-offs, you would then practice those exercises. So say you're practicing, you're working on your chords, your open chords. You would just kind of practice shifting through open chords. Whatever chords you know, you want to practice moving from chord to chord. Any chord you know. Just, it doesn't really matter. You don't really have to have a pattern. You could practice going back and forth from 2 particular chords. Because again, it's all about muscle memory. So the more you practice, the easier this is going to become. So maybe you take a few minutes, you're practicing, your chords. If you're working on bar chords, that's a tough one for everybody. B minor, and moving that chord around. And you're checking. Make sure you're getting every note of the chord to sound out. Okay, so maybe that's the thing. Maybe, again, like I said, maybe you're working on hammer-ons and you want to practice that technique a little bit. You could practice that with a scale, like a pentatonic minor scale. So whatever kind of technique you work on, maybe you're working on fingerstyle. Okay, you could practice some fingerstyle exercises, Whatever it is that you're doing, okay? That's the second thing. So we warm up with our scales. We do a little skill practice or technique practice. Then I think it's very important, thirdly, to practice a song. So that's what it's all about, right? We want to learn how to play songs or play pieces of music. So the third thing I would do in my daily practice routine is practice whatever song or piece of music that I'm working on currently. And that's going to vary for all of you. If you're working on a certain technique like fingerstyle, I think it's important to be practicing a fingerstyle song. You can find all these, in the filtering on the website, using the filtering on the left-hand side if you're on a desktop. And you can find all these types of lessons based on those categories, skill category, song category, and those are all divided up with fingerstyle songs, acoustic songs, rock songs, whatever you're working on. I definitely encourage you to, kind of browse through those categories and see what's in there. We have over 850 lessons now, so there's something for everybody in there. So I hope this helps with your daily practice routine. I kind of divide it up into 3 things: scales and warm up, skills and technique, songs. So there you have it. I hope that helps, and good luck with your daily practice.